Alright, bitches, here is what we have been waiting for. LR Bardock has been released on the game. Shout out to the homie Mai for the footage, and let's get to it. So, LR Bardock is coming tonight on JP Dokkan. As of right now, we still don't know for sure if it's going to be a featured LR banner, if Bardock will be unfeatured, exactly what the case will be. I am predicting it will be he will be unfeatured on this banner tonight because Lord Slug should also be on the banner, and it would be very weird to have Bardock and Slug like side by side as new cards on like a banner featured. Like, I don't know, it just strikes me as odd. So I really could see our boy LR Bardock being an unfeatured LR tonight, so do keep that in mind. Now, one of the cool things about LR Bardock here is that, you know, he is going to be fantastic on this, you know, newly released pure-blooded Saiyan team. Bardock, of course, is a pure-blooded Saiyan. He is actually on two categories, the low-class Saiyan and the pure Saiyan category. Now, of course, the low-class Saiyan category, you're not exactly going to get a lot of mileage out of Bardock on that team, because I do feel as though it might not be the worst category anymore. That's probably the Namekian category, but it's like right up there. So, for all intents and purposes, we're really only looking at Bardock right here. Now, a lot of the Saiyans, ooh, perfect word placement right there. A lot of the Saiyans that we would use on this team are going to have Prepare for Battle anyway. So that will work very well with LR Bardock here. So 2 million attack stat. That is him rainbowed right there. Alright, that's not bad. That's not bad. One thing to consider is that Bardock, of course, does have Saiyan Pride. So that is a link you would probably try and activate. Also, a kind of surprising thing about Bardock here is that he actually does seal on his 18 key super. As you guys can see, Super Saiyan 4 Goku is actually sealed right here, because on Bardock's 12 key super, he'll greatly raise his attack for one turn and do colossal damage to the enemy, and on his 18 key super, he does mega colossal damage to the enemy and he seals super attack. Now, of course, on many of the hardest Dokkan Fest events that happen nowadays, you know, Ultra Instinct Goku, Jiren, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, you know, events like this, you know, once you get to that final, like, phase of the fight, the final stage of that fight, you're not going to be able to, like, seal your opponents, right? They're going to completely shut that down. But usually, on the first couple phases of a fight, the sealing will work. So, at least Bardock will help you prevent from taking a lot of damage on the earlier kind of stages of any fights that you might encounter. Alright, so like LR Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Bardock, LR Bardock, this is kind of a unit that you're going to want sandwiched in the middle on rotations like this. Because, you know, you need to get that 18 key super for LR Bardock to truly shine. Because he gets an additional attack buff on his 18 key super. If we look at his passive, so Bardock gets an attack and defensive buff of 70% at the start of turn, which just by itself is a little underwhelming, and I could understand why a lot of people might be a little sort of like underwhelmed with the card at first, just looking at that, right? But if you further break it down, Bardock gets an additional attack 30% when performing his ultimate super attack, you know, or a la his 18 key super. Now, I don't think this will be too terribly hard to activate on the pure Saiyan team. You know, if you want to run a number of Shattering Limit units or Prepare for Battle units or even units that have Saiyan lineage, it shouldn't be too difficult to get that 18 key super. And the way, like, the calculations are done, the 30% attack buff he gets when performing super attack, it's actually going to equate. I saw people saying on the Dokkan subreddit that this Bardock essentially has an attack buff of 121%. But it's going to be a massive buff if he's going to be getting, you know, things like support type passives on the rotation. So, like, if Turles is around this guy, it's going to help him hit really, really hard. Alright, so this will be a nice little test. How high will his attack set be on his 12 key super? 1.2 million. I guess for a rainbow summonable LR, that is a little underwhelming right there. Obviously, you know, a summonable LR, especially if this guy is featured, or excuse me, if he's unfeatured, we would expect a lot more because of how difficult these units are to obtain. So clearly, from what we just saw there, LR Bardock is going to be another instance of, if you're putting him on a team, like, you're kind of going to want to build the team around him, because in order for him to really be truly effective, he does have to get that 18-key super. And, you know, once he gets that 18-key super, like, it's not, like, just, like, an additional 30% damage. Like, it's going to cause him to hit, like, crazy harder than he would, you know, if he didn't get the 18-key super. Like, again, as we just saw. Now, also, when facing one enemy, Bardock does get 4 key, which is very helpful for getting an 18-key super. And then when facing 2 or more enemies, he'll get a defensive buff of 60%. So, LR Bardock is a very good unit for Super Battle Road. Now, I do think eventually we could see Super Battle Road updated, perhaps with category stages or something. And if that does indeed happen, LR Bardock is going to be a beast in Super Battle Road. His ability to seal, as well as that, you know, gigantic defensive buff he can have when facing multiple enemies, will be really, really nice. Alright, so, like, as you guys can see, the only thing is, like, it is going to be quite annoying trying to get that 18-key super. Now, looking at his links real quick, his links are Saiyan Warrior Race, the Saiyan Lineage, Team Bardock, Saiyan Pride, Prepare for Battle, Shattering Limit, and Legendary Power. So you're probably best off with this guy, you know, surrounding him with units that have either Prepare for Battle or Shattering the Limit. Now, we do have 3 LRs on the Pure Saiyan team that all have Shattering the Limit. LR Super Saiyan 3 Goku, LR Majin Vegeta, as well as LR Bardock. The only thing is, I'm not really sure how well the team would run with both LR Super Saiyan 3 Goku and LR Bardock on the team, because both of these units are going to require their 18-key supers to do, like, mega insane damage, right? And you may struggle getting all, like, both of those units their 18-key supers consistently. Now, like, this is the dream, of course, like, for any good unit nowadays, the dream is to have Turles on the rotation with him. Turles giving that massive 40% attack buff on his passive, it also will be a big deal because of, like, the way it kind of works, like, you know, with support type passives and links, like, whenever a buff is applied, like when a unit is performing an attack, that does, like, really, really skyrocket that buff. That's why, like, you know, the Extreme Z Awaken for Physical Full Power Frieza was kind of underwhelming to a lot of people, is just because of the fact that, like, they don't want to go too high with his passive, because if they did that, like, you know, performing it on a super attack, it would just be too, like, monstrous. Alright, so let's see what LR Bardock could do right here. This will be a good test. 2.7 right there. Okay, that is very high. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. 2.9 million crit, and he can seal. That's pretty good. So far from what I'm seeing, I do like Bardock. It's just, again, you have to be aware going in. You can't just kind of toss him onto a random team, or else he's not going to work to his full effectiveness, just like LR Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I kind of like that design. Like, it does cause a little bit more thinking. You know, you have to build the team a little bit smarter, but at the same time, I do think that the 70% buff and then just the 30% buff on Super is a little light. I think he should have gotten maybe 70% attack like normal, but then that should have been like a 60% or a 70% buff on his 18-key Super. I think that would have probably worked out a little better in terms of like him being worthy of the LR mantle, right? The summonable LR mantle. Like, as of right now, like, just looking at him, I almost could really see him being a featured LR because he's not like anything stupid broken. Dare I say he's actually kind of balanced? I know I don't want to toss out the word balanced like in relation to Dokkan, but he's not like, you know, LR Gohan, where LR Gohan dropped and it's like, oh my god, like LR Gohan is double as good as any other unit in the game right now. It's insane. Like, you know, they did just do that with LR Super Vegeta and Super Gogeta, but like they haven't really done that as much. And even those two fusions, it's not like it's very easy at all to actually get those fusions to occur. So that's kind of the little, you know, balancer that they did. I guess by this point we can go ahead and wrap it up. I do really like the new Bardock. I'm definitely going to summon for him tonight, regardless of if it's a featured banner or an unfeatured banner. I don't recommend people really chase him too hard. Let LR Bardock come to you. He's a very good unit, but I do think he is closer to the lower end of the summonable LRs. He's not one of the best summonable LRs. But regardless, thanks guys for watching, and I'm going to catch y'all later.